One guy that has returned is Zach Hayashi, and he's been phenomenal for Navy, to say the least.
Zach Hayashi is going to be the man at the X for the midshipmen, along with Luca Accardo for the High Point Panthers. It's a battle of power at the Faceoff X today. A new era begins for the High Point Panthers in some uncharted territory for Navy as we are underway here in 2025. An early whistle off the faceoff will allow Navy to possess the ball here, so they'll start on offense here in the first quarter.
And there's an early battle right away.
Luca Accardo battling for that ground ball. A scrum right now. As Hayashi, as Coach Crowley called him, a pit bull for this Navy specialty unit. Flags fly as Luca Accardo tries to pick it up, and it looks like it's going to be a push without possession. As 11:24 left to go here in the first quarter. As we'll see this EMO for the midshipmen step out, and the first test for this man-down defense, and a new face in net for the High Point Panthers, Jude Smith.
Space, low to high shot. Beautiful finish.
The Mids back on offense. They have controlled a large amount of the offense. It's been a close matchup through and through each and every single time. High Point leads the all-time series 2-0 as they look to try to find victory here in this new era. And he looks to bring his expertise down south here in High Point, North Carolina, as we are back underway here in the first. 5:10 left to go in the first quarter. Very accurate shooter, a man-up specialist at Penn State, and made the decision to transfer to High Point, not only because his brother was on this team, but he felt that there was a lot.
Seeing it early here, tying it up at 3.
Accardo wins that one cleanly, and he'll spin that ball back to Luke Derman, and a tremendous leader for those young men on the Navy sideline.
And this is a familiar matchup we've seen, Mike. I mean, not the first time they faced. Last season they faced, it was John Hopkins versus Navy. It went to overtime. It was a nice nail-biter, and a young man who has a bright future for High Point.
And I wrote this down in my notes. He will have an impact this year, and it's already starting to show. His ability at X, and we saw him come out of the midfield line a lot, and that was just because they had a loaded attack unit last year featuring the likes of Braden.
Most of the season, he had 19 last season. Again, you spoke about how he came off the bench and was able to really execute for the Panthers. He's doing it again this season. Just a great finish on the doorstep, and even better on the unselfish play.
And it looks like Navy will take a timeout here. Great heads up.
Away in season openers, they find a way to finish. And as you said, textbook ball movement, finding them on the doorstep. 5-4 game, now you're back in it.
He had the V hold. It's just hard when you have a strong finisher like that on the crease. As another young midshipman scores. Push in the back, the flag flies. That'll be a push with possession, and we'll see High Point's man up head out there for the first time in 2025.
It's going to be interesting to see how Crawley has developed that man up for the Panthers. First chance now. We haven't seen it. No.
From the defender, and Carter Ash, the beneficiary on that pass. The Mids with their first lead here in the second half.
Marsh gets a hold of it, long pole goal. How about that?
And High Point with a technicality. Looks like Luca Accardo went early, but great job there. Capable of producing those veteran values.
Yeah, I mean, his reputation speaks wonders on just how good he is. When he was going through the recruiting process, this was a guy who stood out among some of the best in the nation and proved why in his freshman year as he took that starting spot for the Naval Academy. He finished the season with a 61% face-off percentage. And Owen Bunton. Right back at it, Mike, battling Hayashi, Accardo.
Very physical at the face-off X today, as I thought there was going to be a hold called there on Hayashi.
Stepping up here in the second half, and he generates the space well, comes down the left side, finishes left. Right down low in that bottom right corner, great bounce shot.
Fast break opportunity taken away. As a pinch and pop.
Try and win this face-off here and keep it going.
Navy wins the ground ball battle here. 8:35 now left to go here in the third. For Boston U, he had 60 points last season and has just this innate ability to score at all levels. And the Mids will pose a lot of issues as they are put in that 5th spot this season. Army leads the charge, then Lehigh, Colgate, Boston U, and then the last team in that Patriot League poll, Holy Cross. As we are back here on ESPN Plus after that short break. 7:20 left to go. The Mids lead 9-7. If you're just joining us here in the second half, once again, Mike Guerriere alongside my partner Jimmy Roselli here from Vert Stadium in High Point, North Carolina. The midshipmen make the trip down to High Point for just the second time in their short history. And as we've spoke about at a multitude of occasions, as Navy boosts themselves up 3 for their biggest lead here in today's matchup. Accardo with a clean win, gives it to Lutzel, and that one hits the chest protector of a Navy defender. Ball still on the ground, being fought for, lots of commotion, and Accardo picks it up.
Them into what could possibly be the fourth quarter if if High Point doesn't find an answer.
Roman Larocco with only 1 goal last season, played in 13 contests. What a start to 2025 for the senior from Mount Airy, Maryland. High Point trying to be aggressive on their right.
Lacrosse season.
William Goers, the freshman attackman, with a great find on the doorstep and the hat trick for Carter Ash. As with 1.9 seconds left to go here in the third, over in position, a lot of uncertainty of what this team was going to look like, Jimmy.
Yeah, the A-10 standings are, it's a competitive conference to say the least. It can always go either way, and last season we saw that on firsthand. So to see High Point at 3, they were an uncertain team. You got a whole new staff, a new program. You lost a lot of guys. Can they find a way to find their way to the top of the conference? Or you got to ride this momentum all the way through and try and cut this deficit down?
It's not impossible for the Panthers to come back in this contest. 12:45 left to go as Luca Accardo wins yet another face-off. And they have won that battle at the X. 11:38 left to go. The Panthers are suffocating this specialty unit for the midshipmen right now at the face-off.
Next thing, a sub above.
11 minutes left to go here in the fourth. As the Panthers
extending the lead back to 3.
Just great ball movement there, Jimmy. catches the defense off guard and finds that open spaces. Luca Accardo trying to will this High Point.
The momentum going for yourselves. Now only 6:30 to play for High Point. They got to try and find an answer here. You're down 4. It's a big face-off coming up.
Chaos at the face-off X as Navy picks that one up, and they'll clear the ball. 6:15 now left to go. Time running out. 4-goal lead